Howdy all, how's everybody doing today? I'm the Cowboy from the Cosmos. Welcome back to another Risk video. Been a little while since I uploaded. I didn't get the time to work on this round 2 video and do the voiceover after the game for a while, but it's finally here. I'm speaking to even past or future, I don't know. Cowboy from a different time to when this was recorded. So yeah, my round 2 game took about roughly an hour, and I've condensed it down to about a 13-minute period for you guys. So, I thought that'd be more digestible, and I'm gonna be real with you, I did not have anything entertaining to say for an hour straight. I already knew that coming into this. I don't ever have scripts for these videos, I probably should, but I already knew I wasn't going to cover an hour. So one thing you're going to notice immediately off the bat is where I put my capital. I have the 5 capital in one of the islands towards the left of the map, and I also managed to secure an early AI capital round 1 on basically the mirror position on the other side of the map. This was a really good play by me, I feel like. The reason I did this was because I wanted to secure 2 strong footholds to held chokes at different sides of the map. If I hold them all game, I was going to be basically impossible to card lock, and on top of that, I would have the absolute most map control of any player, which is of course really important in a large map progressive caps game. So one thing that I would like you guys to pay attention to while we're going throughout this match is the blue player. So the blue player currently is going for the continent in the top left of the map, and you're going to see them kind of work their way around there. My goal starting out this game was I wanted to go for the bottom left continent where white is, white in my 4, but white player did end up wanting that continent, so I decided, okay, I have to concede giving him that, and I'll have to figure out where I want to go later. So I kind of, backed off for the moment, and I'm going to move out of there soon enough. The pink AI is doing a lot of attacking around the map. You will notice that they are moderately strong, but blue player has secured his capital on top of his +4, or the +5, sorry, which is 2 territories because of a blizzard on it. It's a really strong continent. At the time of, I don't know where his capital is, I just know that he has it, and realizing that, I need to stop him. So when I'm randomly attacking around, I actually stumble across blue's capital. So I didn't actually think it was going to be on that tiny +5, to be honest with you, but it happened to be there completely undefended, and I had to break blue to stop him from winning the game immediately. So I ended up getting a free capital, a continent, and all of that. On top of that, though, you do have to realize my capital is a bit weaker now, my original one, so I have to be careful of the fine line there, but I assumed that nothing would hit me for meaningful damage between then and there, because nothing has enough generation. Now, blue player is brand new to the game, okay, and you can tell that evidently by what he just did. So he took his capital's forces and decided to, or not his capital's forces, just some random forces he had nearby, and slammed them straight into my capital. I don't think that was a very good play at all, but he clearly did, and it's going to end up costing him the game, which is where I kind of want to teach a lesson with this video, I guess, and the goal I had coming in to talk about is that you, for the sake of your success in progressive capital games, for now and ever, this will always be the case, is you need to learn how to make friends. So one thing is you have to be very cautious of how you expand, because the blue player kind of forced my hand, right? I was the only player who could break him, because he had stuff guarding against white. There's no way white was breaking him. And on top of that, blue was nearby me. I took his capital because he undefended it. So one thing he should have done is he should have just stuck to his +5 for a bit longer, waited till other people got big continents, then go for a second one. And on top of that, he also should have been guarding on the +5. Yeah, it's very juicy to guard on that 1 territory choke, minimize 2 positions into 1, but the problem is that it's a lot less powerful, and your capital, if you don't get it, or if you lose it early, can just cost you the game. Of course, him also suiciding me doesn't help his situation at all, and I realize at this point, okay, he is just sending troops into me non-stop, and it is causing a lot of issues. So I do what any sensible person would, and absolutely annihilate him out of here. Now, to be fair, I did want to get the kill, but at the same time I kind of recognized there's a good chance I won't. So I already kind of cut my losses on that, and killing blue was a very important play for me to make, because it prevented me from just losing the game. Because it stopped him from just suiciding me over and over again. where I would have to invest resources or else he would do that. Now, yellow player made a good move here, and he went and took the capital I left weak. It sucks on my end for sure, but it makes sense from his perspective to do that. I think that was a fine enough play, but now that blue player has been removed from the game because someone's knocked him out, the next two things I want you to pay attention to is my relationship with the white player and my relationship with yellow. So first off, I retake the cap on yellow. Even though he can set in, he will have to set in again and hit an even bigger capital. I don't think he would do it because in my position, I think that would be a bad play. At some point earlier in the game, while I was speaking over this, I missed it completely, but it did happen, and you guys can watch a recording. I lost my other capital on the right side of the map in the islands. That was because of yellow, I believe. Yellow hit my capital because he wanted that over there. So this is where we're going to go into the second, or the third, I guess, lesson in this video, which is not only do you need to learn to make friends, because alliances are very important, and pissing people off will just get you killed. Being too aggressive will also just get you killed. I've seen this happen a lot of times with progressive caps. And so this third lesson is that you need to know when to quit. In progressive capitals, blasting a cap over and over and over again is just not worth it. Like, yellow player here hits my capital, he full sends it into me. And that really sucks, I'm not gonna lie, for my game and for his. So I think that, luckily I did get my big consonant, so I got a capital for that, and I have a set on 3, which is going to help keep me alive for now. But one thing yellow should have realized sooner is that they're not going to be winning the game by hitting caps. So they hit this cap again, and they make 2 mistakes here. A, they don't try and kill me for my 3 cards, and B, they just hit my capital. So they lost 50 plus troops on a 37 capital with 24 defending, and I have a chance of matching him. So of course I do, and I just hit him back, right? So one thing that you should try to do your best to know when you're playing progressive capitals, and the biggest tip I can give many players who are struggling to understand it, whether you have 1 capital or 5, after like the first 10 turns, doesn't actually matter all that much. Like, yeah, they're great strategic positions on the board, but if it's costing you way more troops than it's ever going to generate back, it's not worth it. So yellow player here is very cap oriented. He's very much just trying to get a quick win, just trying to get capital. That is the wrong way you should be approaching this, because I would much rather have 1 really strong cap than, you know, a couple weak ones. And I kind of, if blue hadn't hit me so hard, or I didn't have to hit blue, I'm confident I would have held my 2 capitals. But you can even kind of see how early in the game I had 3 capitals, and now I'm down to 1. Because eventually they just get kicked out from under me because they were too weak individually, right? So I think it's important to know that, and to look at it from that perspective, is that if your capitals are costing you a butt ton of troops every single turn just to maintain, they're probably not worth having. Now, one thing you'll also know is I have a pretty small generation compared to most people. For the next while here, I'm just going to be kind of chilling in my consonant. I don't have any real meaningful plays I can make. I'm quite weak, and I don't get a lot of troops. So my goal is more or less just figuring out how to stay alive, getting my big generation, and just keep stacking on caps so I don't die. But here we go. So I end up breaking down just to see what's up with yellow, and he ends up having a 44 cap. I have about 100 troops, so I go about even on hitting it, because I had such a crazy amount of attacker's advantage, along with some decently lucky dice. So you might be thinking, well, Cowboy, you literally just lectured us on why getting a shit ton of caps doesn't actually help you at all. Why would you make that attack? Well, the reason I made that attack is because, so paying attention to white, if you had been earlier in the game, here's where that comes in. So me and white had a pretty good alliance going for a really long time. He let me hold my consonant, he let me do a lot of different things, and didn't bother me, right? So my goals with white player were that I wanted to make friends with him again. I wanted to continue to help him out, hold that capital on his border, and play assistance to him. Because since I'm pretty weak by myself, I need a good ally. So now I've secured myself a solid ally because he knows he can trust me since I didn't break him all earlier. And I'm playing guard for him, so he would want me around if anything. I also ask white here to get the ship's consonant with a bunch of like boats on it. And the white player luckily does agree, which is incredibly helpful to me. It basically just saves my game, because losing the big constant really hurt early on. Like, yeah, we're deep enough in the game, cards are worth way more, but the constants are still quite strong on this map, so they don't ever really go away until, like, you know, rounds like 30 and crap, where everyone's getting like 200 per turn. But yeah. So, I end up making a deal with him, and he ends up conceding, giving me the boats, which is really, really big. Yellow player now is getting hammered around the map, so it's pretty hard to see in the speed up, but basically, he's getting a lot less troops than he used to be getting. He used to be getting in the ballpark like 30 and like 40 troops or some shit, and he's been getting significantly less. I had no clue how strong purple was, and this right here, this moment, was exactly when I realized, oh wow, purple's really strong. Now, yellow's a little upset because I broke his consonant, but I also had no choice. I had to get a card, and I couldn't get one off of him, or off of purple, so yeah. Now, you'll see here, he also sets in a bunch of troops on my border to be this mighty army that stands against me. Now, I have two choices. I can set in, and I can either just play passive, or I can go for the kill. I decide that I'm going to risk it like I did with blue, get the kill, because yellow's behind me, and if I do kill him, that's a bounty in third place, and I desperately needed bounties this game. So I got the bounty, which sets me up to 1 bounty, third place. Now, here is where I want to teach you guys, we're going to expand on the idea of making friends, okay? So I have tailored this entire game to making this Obi-Wan relationship work, right? That's the white player, his name is Obi. Well, I guess not his real name, but you get the point. And I have spent an immense amount of effort and troops into being his friend. So this is where that is going to pay off. So the purple player is stronger than either of us currently, at least that's what I thought. So I decided to make one hidden stack that makes me hard to kill. I take one of purple's caps to the top of the map, and my goal now is to try and work with the white player to kill purple. My goal is more or less, if I can just get second in a bounty, that's fine. If I can get second in 2 bounties, that's fine. If I can make them kill each other and win, that's great. I don't expect it to happen, but it's possible, right? So that's kind of where I was at. So what I start doing is I start flushing out purple's troops in random sections of the map, and I completely move off my capitals. This is a sign of good faith to white, as in I've put all my cards into his hands. I don't actually have any meaningful plays I can make by myself. I am not strong enough. I already conceded this fact pretty quickly. So instead, I'm just going to make my easy plays. So, white player can see, okay, you have a really big stack. He sees I have a capital there, and he doesn't even take it, because he knows that I'm helping him out, and since I don't even have generation on it, he doesn't care. So I start hitting purple a lot, and I honestly thought purple was a lot weaker than this. I didn't realize he had a 190 cap there. Now, if I was purple in this situation, I would have just sent his shit into me and deleted me, right? He could have, like, killed me or just taken out most of my stuff, whatever. But fortunately, the white player decides to hit purple for me, giving me the kill on purple. White player weakens him and gives me second 2 bounties. So, white player could have probably killed purple there too, but I guess he didn't want to risk losing. So it probably was a better move on his end if that was his fear. Although I still think he would have won regardless. I think there's a 0% chance he lost that game. But I played out for the end here. I give up eventually, but basically, I just want to kind of say that, hey, you guys can make alliances and they'll really pay off. Attacking people like Blue did early on is just going to throw your games, because they're going to have to remove you. You're just forcing their hand, right? So I think that it would be the most effective way for people to look at this game as, how can I make players my friends, especially in a game like Prog Caps, where sometimes if it's going like upwards of like 4-8 hours, you need those friendships, man, because they're going to count in the long run, as you guys saw in this video. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Peace out, everybody.